mummy. So what the hell is this crime? He's a sex offender?
You're saying black is bad?
I'm not. The movie is.
Exactly.
The movie is. Fuck you, man. Fuck you, man. Trying to catch me slipping. You're not that blind where you're like, oh shit. That became cartoony as hell también, güey. So more mummies come out and Fraser screams at them again. He thinks he's a Pokemon. Like, is he going to lower the defense? Or why are you growling at people, Doug? Welcome to List. This is a show we pluck a name out of all-time movie watches, watch it, and review for your viewing pleasure. The movie we're scratching off the list today is a 1999 The Mummy. At an archaeological dig. Did I get it?
Yes.
Okay. In the ancient city of puta madre. That'd be tight if it was called
What's happening?
Hamunaptra. Es todo. Hamunaptra. An American serving in the French Foreign Legion accidentally awakens a mummy who begins to wreak havoc as he searches for the reincarnation of his long-lost love. What's interesting to me about this movie is that I still remember my parents shielding me from this movie.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I think I must have been 8 years old. And I think my dad wanted to take me to it and my mom said no.
Wow.
And oddly enough, I never seeked it out after. I feel like if this would happen to you, the first thing you would do is trying to find this movie to watch it.
Of course. It's what is up with this? Is there something that's going to f me up or what's happening?
I created a false sense of terrifying movie in my brain about this movie the whole time subconsciously. Mm-hmm. And this movie's not even rated R. It's PG-13.
Oh, really?
There's no blood in the whole movie. So I had not seen it.
Yeah, I watched the second one at the movies. My dad took me and he didn't give a flying
lucky.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, you want to watch the Mummy movie? And I'm like, yeah. And I watched this one on TV. I was like, oh, so this is the first one.
And so now on its 25th anniversary, I think it's time I checked it out.
So you've never seen it?
No.
Wow.
Make sure you let us know your thoughts on The Mummy down in the comment section below. And while you're down there, hit the subscribe button and a notify bell next to it to be notified every time we drop a new video. Let's get into it. So this is a remake, technically, from the 1932 Mummy movie from Boris Karloff back in the Disney.
Wow.
I've not seen that one, Neva. So if you guys think we should, also let us know down in the comments. But this movie starts with our homie Imhotep and his bad bitch out here long time ago. The best pair ever, fine and naked. But she's the Pharaoh's mija, and he walks in because no one's supposed to touch mija because that's his hyena. No one touch her neighbor. But the homie Imhotep over here touching her, and she decides to kill her man for love of Imhotep.
In the worst way possible.
The Pharaoh's guards come in and start chasing them, and she on her Shakespeare shit, and she dead-ends herself. Emo can bring her back with a spell.
With the Book of the Dead.
He's doing the most out here for his mija, man.
The only one.
So he tries to bring her back and he conjure up some purple CGI water.
Mm-hmm.
It don't look great, but even today they struggle with water, so it's tough.
I mean, they did it in Black Flag.
Yeah, that's the best water ever, and I always bring that up, and I'm always going to bring it up, and I'm glad you brought it up. So the Pharaoh's guards stop him from bringing the mija back just before she goes back into her body. In punishment, they decide to cut his tongue and mummify his ass and dump a bunch of scarabs on his ass.
Verga, that was extra.
Arnold Voss, who's playing Imhotep, remember how he looks all scared?
Yeah.
While he's being mummified? He was really terrified because they were really covering it up. He couldn't move. And even though that whole scene was 20 seconds, he was really, really scared.
Oh, shit.
From the jump, you can tell the quality of the CGI, right? It is 1999. Yep. The second I saw the scarabs, I was like, okay, I know what kind of CGI I'm getting.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of gave it a pass.
Yeah.
Because at the time, I kind of remember the CGI being really good for the time.
Well, yeah. I mean, 2 years later, we got Lord of the Rings, which allegedly has one of the best CGI.
I know, but if you want to sit there and compare The Mummy to Jurassic Park, which came 8 years before, you can kind of fight, but there were budget issues throughout the whole process. So knowing that now, I kind of give the CGI a pass. So it is also told to us if Emo comes back, it would be bad news. That's basically the gist of it.
Because he's mad. He's big mad.
So we in 1923, I did not know that.
Really?
I didn't know it took place then.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So war are raging for this land, and the Magi keep lurking in the shadows. These are the Pharaoh's gourds. The music is really good. It's done by legendary composer Jerry Goldsmith, which he goat. The music is recognizable. It fits. I thought it was really good. So we cut to Brendan Fraser.
I'm going to say Fraser anyway. Let me say Fraser. But I don't want it.
You know what? Nobody's ever got my name.
Brendan Fraser. See, it didn't sound right.
It felt good, though.
All right.
As long as they're saying it.
So we cut to Brendan Fraser mowing down dudes in horsies.
Doing what he does.
Hell yeah, but there are way too many. And one guy runs away, and then his coward compia Benny runs away. And he's ready to die because they chase him down. But they all turn around and flee because they're actually where they buried our homie Emo.
Mm-hmm.
They believe that the legend that grows and grows, and even a face pops out on the sand, and then Brendan runs away.
This actually looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it looks okay. Leonardo DiCaprio was actually very interested.
Oh.
But was contractually obligated to film the movie The Beach.
Do not remember that one.
There you go. What's even worse, that Leo even tried working with production of The Beach to kind of postpone their filming so he can go and do the mummy, but they declined. The kick in the balls is that the movie The Beach ended up postponing production anyway. So he could have done this movie. Hijos de la verga.
Oh, mames, güey.
Sons of bitches. So after they get no Leo DiCaprio coming hot off of Titanic, they thought of Tom Cruise, which that's funny because he ended up doing the worst mummy movie.
Mm-hmm.
But they also had Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, and Brad Pitt in consideration, but none of them were interested in doing the film.
What do you mean? He's the best guy.
Ben Affleck?
Yes.
Nah.
Imagine.
Nope.
The possibilities.
Nope. But then the production saw a little film called George in the Jungle, and they felt that they found their main guy.
I would have never imagined that because of George of the Jungle.
It was because of George of the Jungle.
No mames, way.
Hey, he was a mijo in that one. He's still a mijo in this.
Oh, yeah, I think in this he looks even better because he has that. He looks kind of butch. That raw male power,
ruggedness.
Yes.
So 3 years later, we see Mija at the museum. Man, she aged spectacularly well. She looks exactly the same.
Rachel Weisz?
See, way.
God damn, way.
Shout outs to 007, way. Makes sense that she was the one and only choice. She did a great job. Because she's basically out here cosplaying clumsy ass Belle. She in a library.
Hey, this is library.
You're hot and smart. What else you want?
Yes.
But her bouncing on the ladder felt kind of Looney Toony for me.
Yeah, it was a bit extra.
The whole movie has Looney Toony moments that I was not expecting. You know, again, because I'm thinking in my head is like this very scary movie.
Got that prejudice going in.
She knocks all the books down and she gets roasted, and then while she's getting roasted, she basically is telling us her skills that she can read and write Egyptian, Egyptian, and her daddy is a very important guy, and that's the only reason why she's got this job. Then we get a jump scare. See, I told you it was scary, bro.
See, wait, come on.
And Jonathan gives her an artifact that he found. She starts messing with it and reveals a map that allegedly leads to the city that we saw in the beginning, that is filled with treasure called the City of the Dead, and it's also believed to be cursed. Pero el pendejo or library guy burnt it. Was this on purpose?
Yep, I in my head, it was.
Because of what's revealed later, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
But the siblings don't care and head out anyway. Jonathan reveals that he stole it from Brendan, who's in prison now, and they go to ask him about it. And Jonathan gets punched in the face.
I've just got one of those faces.
Which is going to be a constant from now on.
He says if he wants to know where it is, because he's been there, you need to get him out of there. And then he randomly steals a kiss from the Mija. That's kind of creepy.
Come on. You know you're going to die?
Well, they do explain it later on. That's why I give it a pass. But when I saw it first, I was like, dude, what are you doing? Right? But I like that they explain the kiss later in a conversation. So they keep calling him a pig, and that he's had a bunch of good times. So what the hell is this crime? He's a sex offender?
But I don't know. I don't think he's a sex offender.
Well, they're calling him a pig. Come on, pig, blah, blah, blah. And then he also like stole a kiss.
I think it's a pig because he's a white man.
Ooh.
And I can't remember which movie I saw this or where I read this, but they call white people pigs because when the sun hit them, they turned pink. Mm-hmm. And that's why they call them pigs.
Apparently, he had a very good time.
So she tries to buy his freedom, but she can't do that, so they decide to hang him. So during this scene, director Stephen Sommers, his only direction towards Brendan Fraser was look good and don't die.
Oh, shit.
What's kind of ironic is that while he was left to hang there a little bit too long, that he stopped breathing and he had to be revived.
Holy shit.
Scary. Imagine.
You cannot do movies like that today.
No.
Damn.
A little bit before this, Michael J. Fox had a similar situation.
Jesus Christ.
That plus this is what they start to take better measures in this regard. After
My God.
So the fatty's pissed that he didn't break his neck. I like that guy. He was kind of cool. The stinky fatty.
His neck did not break.
Miha has no choice but to tell him about the city of the dead, and they cut him down. Heads back and cleans up pretty nicely, and she starts to change her tune about him and immediately falls in love with him, which I kind of like that. It was like different. It's usually always the guy kind of pursuing the girl, and here it felt like the girl was pursuing the guy.
Good, kind of different.
Yeah, because she was never really like ill about the kiss necessarily.
Yeah, she was like, oh, why did you do that? But never in an icky kind of way.
No, they showed us she was interested from the beginning. They come up to some gringo treasure hunters and they make a bet on who will make their first.
Oh, those bastards.
Yeah. She also reveals that she's looking for the Amon-Ra St. Brown book, aka the good book. Mm-hmm. But there's also the bad book, which is the Book of the Dead. And you can tell which one's which because one's gold and the one's black.
Simon, hold on. You're saying black is bad?
No. I'm not. The movie is.
Exactly.
The movie is. Fuck you, man. Fuck you, man. Trying to catch me slipping. Here's where he's explaining the reason why he kissed her. He's like, because I was going to die. And then I was like, oh, well, yeah, then that makes sense. I would want to kiss her too if I'm going to die. Way.
Of course.
He also finds the backstabbing jabroni Benny up on board, and he finds out that he's the one leading the Gringos.
Okay, now, Benjamin.
Oh, everybody loves to hate this guy.
Yes, and he's obviously there for that. That's his role. But he did such a good job that every time you say slimy, two people come to mind. This and a boss I had.
So his only comparison is a real life experience for you. Okay.
Exactly.
Wait, he did such a good job. The camels later in the movie hated him.
Are you serious?
At the very end when he's trying to leave and he's pulling the camel and the camel's not budging.
Uh-huh.
The camel was not acting.
Oh, that was real.
Yeah, he had nothing to do with him. This dude, I want nothing to do with little ass Benny. Tosses him off the boat. We cut to Miha in a nightgown.
Way.
She dangerous, man. She dangerous. But she thinking about Fraser right here. She's like, it's just a kiss. And she's like freaking out, right? But the Magi enter her room and start looking for a map and key. Fraser comes in and shoots the fools and sets the boat on fire accidentally. Here's another Looney Tune bit. Jonathan comes in and bumps into the guy and he just falls into fire. She saves his life because he's trying to load up the gun and then he just tosses her aboard. Jonathan gets the key and jumps off as well. Everybody's jumping off the boat. It's set on fire. There's a gunfight between the Magi and the Gringos. They eventually get to land and Benny starts teasing because he survived. Mm-hmm. But he's on the wrong side.
Hey, Benny! Looks to me like you're on the wrong side of the river!
So they rented camels and Miha got some clothes. But the Magi are always watching as they travel through the desert. And the main Magi guy is like, that white boy's strong, man. There's something about that guy.
That white boy's strong.
Speaking of white boys, they come across the Gringos at the same time. So was he at the wrong side if they reached him at the same time?
No.
Maybe they reached it at the same time because they made that pit stop to go get the camels and Miha an outfit.
Maybe.
They reach the place at the same time, and as the sun rises, the city reveals itself, and now it's a race to the city.
I love that Benny's just this character you just toss around. Like
It was a
he's-
punching bag. They get to the city, and they each are setting up their own camps. I loved when Frazier is like pretending he's going to hit Fatty with the rope. Like, he threw it at him, but he's like, not really going to hit him. And the Fatty's reaction, that was good.
Yeah, man.
They go tomb raiding into the city of the dead, and Mija lines up the mirrors like a Resident Evil puzzle to get light up in that room, and they head towards where all the mummies were being made. I like when they would keep going in and out of a standoff with the gringos at the dig site, but the stinky Fatty wanders off to go get some treasure, and he starts peeling shit off the walls he wasn't supposed to. Oh, eso pinche madre.
I mean, that was the epitome of fuck around and find out.
But before we find out, gringos crack open tomb or something, and then their crew gets messed up machine.
A crypt.
Emo's sarcophagus randomly just falls to our hero's feet, and then we see the stinky Fatty get chewed out.
Oh, that scene always stuck with me.
It was like a thing, I felt like, in the 90s to do that thing with the skin crawling inside, huh?
Yeah, that's the part of the body horror that always stuck with me. It was terrible. I felt it. That's why I don't like body horror.
And he runs headfirst into a wall and dies.
Oh, Simon just smashes his brain in.
The Magi show up to the camp, murking everybody, and Ardeth, our main Magi guy, wants them to leave and gives them 24 hours to do so,
Sáquese la verga, mijo.
teaching Mija how to box, but she white girl wasted.
Looking at her drunk, she looks extra cute right
I
there.
know, because she's like, her guard is down, even though she's like whimsical already. The next day, the gringos find a cursed chest, so our boy Emo would be resurrected fully if he kills whoever opens that chest, but he needs to be resurrected first.
Uh-huh.
So it's like the Magi made sure that it was going to be hella difficult for all this shit to happen, but in true American fashion, we don't give a shit, and they opened it anyway.
They said, what's going to happen? You got to die.
A bet, bitch. Meanwhile, the gringos are doing that. Our heroes are opening Emo's sarcophagus. And in the chest, they find the Book of the Dead, that's the big one. That's the black one. That's the, I don't want to say the bad one anymore.
I was hoping you said the bad one.
That's the no one. I don't know.
The one you used to revive the...
They also pick up out of the chest what they think is treasure, but it's actually the neck and Mija's organs.
Oh, that is just...
That was foul, but I love that. I like that sickness too. That was kind of cool. Mija goes on to explain what happens when you bring someone who suffered that ritual that she believes this person, they don't know it's Emo yet, that happens to that person, right? And she's not acting as if she just brought someone up who got that ritual performed, you know? Mm-hmm. It's like, all this shit's going to happen if you bring someone up to the dead and open their... You're doing the thing you're saying not to do, Mija. So then they go back up, and it's at nighttime, and she borrows the book and straight up opens it and starts reading from the book and brings Emo back to life.
Then she f***ed up.
Yeah, it just didn't make no sense to me, that part. So they run inside from all the scarabs or the bugs or whatever. While running away, one of the gringos trips and has a Velma moment. And goofy ass Benny breaks his glasses. This part kind of annoyed me. They don't even bifocal, man. Like, Brett, you're not blind. No seas mamon. You know? Like, if I go like this and put my I know where my glasses are.
Yeah.
You're not that blind where you're like, oh, shit. That became cartoony as hell también, güey.
There's no way in hell you're going to miss your glasses even if they're 3 feet from your face.
And they weren't even 3 feet. They were right there. They were right out of his reach. And even the guy was like squinting, and I'm like, come on, man. That was a little bit cheesy. So he loses his glasses. He can't see. Scarabs start chasing our homies, and the Mija falls through a wall where she finds the blind guy and is now missing his eyes.
That was foul.
And then she turns around again, and Emo got his eyes. So I made this note right here.
Baby blues?
No way. So does that mean he can't see Neva? He's got his eyes, right?
I would imagine that via the magic, the eyes would be replenished to their OG perfect state.
Why would you steal the blind guy's eyes? I guess you're just in desperation. So I made that note. And then upon research, according to director Steven Summers, he can't see. That's why he squints right after that. And he even confuses her for the naked Mija ang Tsunamu.
Oh, shit.
You're like, she looks nothing like her, dude. It's like, what are you well, because he's got the blind guy's ojos, man. So he took his tongue to, and that's when he's saying, But then the gringos and our homies show up, and he growls at them, and then Fraser growls back.
I think that is the most memorable scene in that movie. Deja tú la Evie just being the cutest thing ever, the cutest person ever.
No.
Just Fraser going, "Ah!" running.
As they run away, they run into the Magi. He say that the creature is the bringer of death, and he will never be stopped. Ay, you're getting serial right here, man.
Super serial.
Our compa el pendejo del Benny runs into Imhotep and begs for his life. I guess he's polytheist, however you want to pronounce that, because he's praying to all the gods. He's got all the stuff around his neck. He prays to Buddha, he prays to God, he does everything, and then he gets to Hebrew, and Hebrew's like, "Oh, you're like one of my peoples."
I hate this. Comes into that sliminess that he prays to anybody to see if it sticks. Chingue su madre.
And so it goes with his character. He's not religious. He wasn't praying to anything before this. Oh, now his life is on the line. Now I'm going to pray, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Bastard. So he thinks he's going to use Benny for his cause, and he wants to know where the rest of the jar is, where the rest of the Mija's pieces are. Packing to leave the city while Mija's unpacking because she wants to stop him. And she closes the suitcase on his fingers for another Looney Tunes / Tom and Jerry move right there.
Yeah.
So it's decided that she's staying, and after some drinking with the pilot, I found this part to be random too. So now we got Emo with a dope mask on, talking
Awesome.
to Benny, who's talking to the blind and tongueless dude. Like it's nothing. Like, how did we get here?
Yeah, there's a piece of the movie missing right there.
Yeah. Why is the blind and tongueless guy so chill? He knows Emo is right in front of him, right?
Would imagine he feels the presence, but I'm gonna go out on a limb and say no.
It felt like a mob boss meeting, you know? Like,
Yeah, that's true.
why are you not freaking out? Emo's right there. He uses that guy in the water, becomes blood, and fire rains upon Cairo as well. Fraser runs into Benny, calls him a stinkweed,
Benny, you little stinkweed, where you been?
and they head upstairs where they see Emo slowly getting skin back after sucking on the blind and tongueless guy.
I sucked him off, huh?
And get his ass lit up and nothing happens. He goes to try to kiss the Mija, but Emo's afraid of pussy, so he flies away. Librarian dude, who we saw in the first, shows up with our death and reveals they've been trying to prevent this from happening, and he also gives the explanation of the pussy thing, that the pussies are the guardians of the underworld, and he will fear the pussy until he's complete. I love that they told us that too, because it was so random. Like, why are you afraid of the gato, güey?
Yeah, because they're the keepers of the underworld.
He also says that he wants the Mija to sacrifice her to revive his naked Mija, because they know that Fraser locked her ass in a room and goes to find the daddy from Jumanji before Emo does.
The daddy from Jumanji? Oh, neta.
Sí, güey. Instead, he finds Benny and throws a chair at him. I thought that part was amazing. Benny throws a chair at his ass.
Nice shot.
Just automatic, the rejection of this person.
Benny spills the beans and tells him that Emo wants the book and the Mija, but Emo finds the guy, recharges himself even more. Now he has a jar and a book and releases yet another plague upon the city. He sucks the life out of another gringo. Now he's even more complete, and he eats a scarab very nastily, and he heads over for the Mija using his Sandman powers to get to the room.
Just Metallica on the background. Dun, 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 dun.
He approaches and kisses the Mija while she's sleeping. I mean, Mija's just getting accosted left and right, man. Just leave her alone,
way.
man. What the fuck are you doing?
While she's awake, while she's sleeping, what?
Fraser comes in with the pussy and he flies off.
I like it was a gun. Rawr!
So he turns the people of Cairo into his slaves, and they also figure out that there was a slip up with the good and bad books. They buried the good book where the bad book was supposed to be, and vice versa, and they need the Amon-Ra St. Brown book to go get it.
But anyway,
They don't care. They run over some slaves. The last gringo falls off, and Emo eats him too, and now has the final jar. Our homies get cornered, and Emo walks up to him and says that he wants the Mija, and she concedes. Benny also takes the key, but the librarian guy stays back to sacrifice themselves, and the rest get away. They meet up with our compia Winston, the pilot. I thought he was cool.
oh yeah,
Winston Havelock at your service, sir.
But a sandstorm spits out the Mija and Benny, and now Emo just half naked all of a sudden too.
I mean,
I mean,
Why not?
I guess it's hot. He also unleashes a sandstorm upon the guys who are flying with a more face on it and eats it and all this other stuff.
That was foul.
Then Mija kisses him again to distract him. What's with the kissing, man?
Well, look at the woman.
I get it, pero I don't know. So our homies crash, and the two goobers on the wing survive without a scratch, but our homie Winston didn't survive. Then he gets eaten by quicksand and taken away. They go back into the city of the dead. A scarab jumps on John and they cut it out. And while this is happening, Emo summons two mummies and tells them to go get the rest of the priests. So they're in the treasure room and the priests are popping out of the ground. That was kind of cool.
Yep, it was a little bit scary.
Adding more to my narrative.
Andale.
The Mija's tied up with a nasty rat on top of her and the naked Mija next to her. So while our homies are trying to get to the right location for the other book, Emo starts his ritual with his Mija. We cut to Benny trying to leave with a shit ton of treasure. This is where the camel thing happens. And our heroes find the Amun-Ra Brown book. And again, the spirit water thing comes up to go to revive the Mija. That fight was cool. I like that they blended CGI with like dudes in suits and shit.
Timon.
They all jump on him, and there's a hand crawling to grab the sword while another guy's trying to throw a tombstone on him. All this was kind of slapstick, but it was all right. Actually, that hand is an animatronic. It's not CGI.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it looks like CGI, which is, I don't know if that's a good thing or not.
I'm going to maybe to the side of no.
Right, because CGI is fake, so the animatronic looks faker than real.
Uh-huh.
I don't know, but it's a great animatronic. It fooled me. So more mummies come out and Fraser screams at them again. He thinks he's a Pokemon. Like, is he going to lower the defense or why are you growling at people, Doug? Mija gets free. So we got the naked Mija chasing the our Mija. John says the right thing because he's got the Amun-Ra book.
Mm-hmm.
And he now commands those new mummies to go and kill the Mija, that was kind of violent too. You only see that with shadows, but it was kind of gnarly.
Savage, to say the least.
Emo heads over to mess up John and Fraser cuts his arm off. Eve lifts off the curse and his spirit is taken away. So now he's mortal and he's killed very, very easily. Just stabbed him.
Well, if he's mortal, he got no power over nothing.
There's not a fight put up there.
I mean, he was a priest, not a warrior.
That is true. So he falls into CGI nasty gray water and he did. Meanwhile, Benny sets off a trap where the roof starts caving in. They start getting away, but Benny stays behind in the treasure room and he almost got crushed. That part gave me anxiety for like the actor when he's like trying to get to the treasure room and the thing was coming down. It felt like he wasn't going to make it, man.
I'll take back whatever the hell I said. It was scary. This movie's scary. I take it back.
I told you.
Take it back.
And his reward for surviving is to get eaten by scarabs.
Alive.
The whole thing collapses and the Magi scares John for another jump scare. See, I told you. They kiss and ride off to the sunset on their camels, and we end the movie. They wrote this movie with Indy in mind, and I think that there's a lot of vibes there.
It does feel like they get a lot of inspiration from Indy.
They had Wes Craven. They had the guy who did Gremlins. They had a bunch of dudes out here that were ready to do this movie, obviously with different ideas, but they only had a $15 million budget.
Whoa.
So they couldn't do any of the ideas that they wanted to do. So while all these other directors dropped out, the studio released a little movie called Babe Pig in the City. That flopped horrendously for the studio when it came out. So they needed a blockbuster hit. So they increased the budget of this movie from $15 to $85 million.
Damn!
Also, do you remember the animated series that came out a little bit after?
Yes.
I remember the series being around, but I don't remember ever watching it.
Yeah, the series came after the second movie because the main guy, the protagonist was the kid, and he was trying to master the powers of the bracelet. You get the scruffy looking good guy who's a good guy but doesn't start as a good guy. But he has a heart of gold. You get the epitome of the bookworm babe.
Yeah. And everything she did, you believe.
Yes, it did not come off as fake. It was genuine.
And she didn't really come off too damsel in distressy either.
No, she's a badass.
She shoots a couple guys by accident.
But she does it.
She
fights.
Yeah, she fights and you believe it.
And Jonathan can kiss my ass. I love the actor. The actor's amazing. The people that play these characters, they do it so well. It does feel like they really were giving their all in this project.
It looks like they cared. I mean, Fraser almost died, cabron. What else you want?
He almost gave his life for the production.
Yeah. I think it later on grew to have a a cult following, I feel like. Especially after the cruise one, people went back and like, you know what? This is actually not that bad. Again.
Oh my God, that cruise one is... Have you seen it?
No.
Don't.
That's what everybody tells me. That's why I haven't.
Comment section, don't there.
I think it's a fun 90s action flick.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, it's beautiful.
I have some 90s slapstick and some 90s like goofy stuff that is to be expected. But I think that the theme is interesting enough that it kept pulling me back in.
And it's pretty cool because it has a lot of themes. It has romance, it has action, it has comedy, the horror.
I think it's pretty good. I didn't watch it back then. I'm watching it now. Obviously, the sequels you saw it. I don't know. Let us know if you guys want us to do this for the sequels. We'll happily do that. So let us know your thoughts on the 1999 Mummy. Should we do the sequel? Should we do the spin-offs? Should we do the OG? You guys are our bosses, so anything you want to do, we're here. Are you a command? You command us like mommy's dog. Let us know your thoughts down in the comments when we're down there again. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you guys for watching. Remember to always and forever, you do you.
On the moon.
I'm Monroe St. Brown.